morning, everyone. So Luke's first birthday is tomorrow. Yay! And I don't know. It's gonna be at home. We're gonna spend his birthday just with us, but because he is turning 1, a cool thing that we are doing this morning is he is having his annual service meeting. I think, I don't know exactly what it's called. I'm totally new at this. Even though we have 5 children, Luke is our first baby who has special needs. So we have been meeting with a physical therapist, an occupational therapist, and also an early intervention specialist. He has a chromosomal microdeletion called 3q29. It doesn't have like an official like name. It's just like numbers and letters right now because it's so rare and it's relatively new as far as its discovery. So it's probably something that's been around a long time, but we haven't been able to really diagnose it until this point in history because we're now able to test people's chromosomes and to get like a really good idea of the really tiny deletions and duplications and just differences with chromosomes. So it's very cool. I'm so grateful that he was born now and then we have access to the science that we have now, and I feel like it's helped us so much to get him to his potential. He still will have a disability his whole life. We don't know what it will look like. We don't know if he will present almost like very typically or if he'll have larger struggles. Like we just don't know. And I feel like a lot of people ask that, like, what's this gonna mean? What's it gonna look like? I've seen people who have their adult children living at home with them their whole lives and the adult children needing that assistance. And I've also seen people who have families of their own and they have the deletion. So like, I don't know where Luke will fall, but we just know that he's Luke and he's amazing and we love him so much, and we are doing all we can to help him with his physical needs and like speech language needs. Later down the line he'll have things like educational needs that will also have to be addressed. We're doing everything we can now, and part of that is because we were able to diagnose him and able to get that chromosome analysis, and I'm just so grateful for that. That is called a chromosomal microarray, by the way. If you are having major baby or child mysteries, I highly recommend looking into a chromosomal microarray. I didn't know about them, but they were not commonly done when we started having children. So like when Bailey was born, this technology was not out there regularly for parents. I just highly recommend the test. I feel like it's really genuinely changed Luke's life. And I wish it were more accessible because I think it's going to do amazing things for so many parents and families. Hopefully down the line it will be a little bit more accessible. But anyway, I just really highly recommend this testing. But anyway, back to what I was originally talking about. Luke's big service meeting is today. And I'm going to go into detail about this. I don't often because overall, like, I don't feel like a need to go into all my other kids like deep medical history. It's not something we do a lot here, but I do think for raising awareness about people with microdeletions and also for us personally to track Luke's progress, because I know that this is all going to be a blur 5 years from now. So I want to like just have a moment where I like really note where he is, and then it'll be great to see down the line as he progresses on his own timeline. Right now, we just got his report for how he is doing, and in his verbal areas, which is like comprehension, like what he's understanding, and then also expression, which is what he's producing. He's a little over 80% delayed. He has been seeing an occupational therapist who helps with oral motor functions and other things, and then also the early interventionist helps with some of the sort of comprehension and some of just like activities, playing with your baby sort of stuff. He is not seeing a speech language pathologist yet. That's because in California, the occupational therapist plays that role until 18 months. We have been told that at 18 months, he will likely qualify and be going into speech. People in other states or maybe even other countries, I've seen you message and say, like, make sure he's having speech, they'll really help. The occupational therapist does everything that a speech language pathologist would be doing at this age in California. It's just like different standards in different states. So we are getting those services. It's just under the occupational therapist, not an SLP. And that is currently where he's most delayed, but we've also had like very solid physical therapy and occupational therapy as well. I'm going to read a little bit of his report. It's just a tiny amount, but I want to keep track of these things. His gross motor skills are at a 27% delay, which puts him around the 8-month age category for like where an 8-month-old would be hitting milestones. Fine motor skills, 6 months with a 45% delay. Adaptive behavior, 7 months with a 36% delay. I think that those numbers are fantastic. Like, I'm so proud of Luke. I don't think that where he's at is something that like he would look back and be like ashamed or embarrassed about. Like, I actually think that he's doing so well. He's working so hard to be where he's at, and he's actually met every goal that we put for him in his first meeting. So every time we have one of these meetings, we set up a list of goals for him. It's not, oh, this is a baby milestone, make sure you're there. It's, okay, where are you going to be in 6 months? Where can we hope you will be, and where can we assist you to get to those goals? And if you don't reach them, no big deal. Like, we'll just put that on the goal for the next 6 months. His batch of goals that he has, he's 100% at. So that's where he is at 100%, and that's fantastic. We're just really proud of him, and the only reason I'm reading these sort of like comparative notes of where he's at milestone wise is because I think it's really important to educate other parents who have like microdeletions, because those are always my biggest questions. Like, I'm like, what does this actually mean? Like, what does my baby's disability and what does this difference like mean? It's hard to get that information, especially when you have a rare disorder. So Luke's is very rare. It's like 1 in 30,000 or 1 in 40,000 people have it that we know of. I've had, I think, 3 or 4 people reach out to me in the whole time that I've been talking about it, and they have somebody who has it as well. And then there are also some like groups that I'm a part of, and I've been able to reach out to people and like learn from their experiences. But I just think any information we can get out there for people who might be in the same position, and or maybe might be looking at a different microdeletion or a different chromosomal abnormality, I just want to be able to be a resource. The big takeaway is that Luke is a complete joy to our home. He is such a little hard worker. He's so happy, and he's like very cuddly and wonderful, and we're just like, I put him to bed at night and I just like miss him. Like, I miss his cute little smiles and his big hugs, and he's just a total sweetheart. I just think that all of this should be very normalized. Like, it's totally normal that this is where he's at. If anything, it's above his expected, and he's doing great. And also, I'm really grateful that we've had the services that we've had, because I don't think that he'd be where he was at without the assistance of like his physical therapist and his occupational therapist. We've been really guided as far as eating and helping him progress with foods. It can be scary feeding him because he does choke. It's one of those things that I wondered, like going into physical therapy and occupational therapy with a baby, it was like, well, what are they gonna do? You know, and you just don't know, especially with like a baby who's like not rolling, not crawling, because that's when we started Luke. I wouldn't have been able to adjust him for his down the line stuff in the same way, even though I've had a ton of kids.
Hey buddy, how was your assessment today? Was it good? Oh, that's a fun toy. That's a fun toy.
We just finished the meeting and it went really well. It was so nice to be able to speak with everyone. His service coordinator and all of his therapists were there, and we were able to discuss where he's at and what the goals are for the future and the goals that he's met so far. So this is where Luke is at 12 months. It's looking like we will be increasing his occupational therapy and really working on certain walking stuff. In a few months, we will probably enter into a training program, Christopher and I, where we learn how to assist him with speech and language stuff. And then at 18 months, he may or may not end up with a speech language pathologist. The meeting went well, and we're very proud of Luke.
Can I show you something? So I made this obstacle course. So what it is I put this line, and it's smaller than this, and then this is bigger than this, so I put it there, and then this is big, and then I stack 2 of these on top of each other, and that's bigger than this, and then this one is bigger than this one. So it's like getting higher and higher and higher and higher.
Wow, very cool.
And this one's hard because it's wobbly.
So those are actually tools that I bought to help Luke during his physical therapy sessions, and Parker helps us so much during the sessions. He'll often like set up obstacle courses for Luke. He'll get things out. He set up today for us. And I think it's really cool that the bigger kids are getting to see how physical therapy works and how they can help people someday as well. Like it's really been neat for them to be involved in Luke's treatments and for us to do it at home over Zoom. And I just really want to emphasize all of the numbers for Luke are typical baby milestones, but they are not something that we're focusing on or paying a lot of attention to. It's just something we have to like touch on every 6 months because we need to make sure that he's getting the right services. So that's why we look at these numbers. Like it's going, okay, like if there's this percentage of delay, we need to make sure that he's getting whatever assistance he needs. So they're just there as like a helpful guideline. They don't worry us. He is definitely falling into his own guidelines for his chromosomal microdeletion. The research that we have, and it's a range and it's a very limited group of people that they are researching, but the information that we have suggests that the average walking and talking ages are more in the 24 months or 2-year range. And for typical development, it's more in the 12-month or 1-year range. So we already know where the expectations kind of lie, and it's a massive range, so it could really go any direction, but we already know those things. I'm not devastated or upset or disappointed at all by these numbers. They are numbers that help us to help him. That's all that I see with them. And they're not something to be ashamed about or disappointed about either. Like, he's doing great. He's just wonderful. We're really, really proud of him. We love him a lot. And it's really cool that we can know more about people who have differences in their chromosomes and how to help them.
All right, it is Luke's bedtime, and Luke, this is your last night not being 1. You're gonna be 1 tomorrow. Tomorrow's your birthday. Yay, birthday! Yay, birthday! Are you so excited about your birthday?
Happy birthday! Happy birthday, Luke!
Oh my goodness. Oh, you're getting a lot of visitors at bedtime here. I'm trying to put them down for bed and kids keep coming in. A lot of interruptions. But that's what happens the day before your birthday. Are you excited? Are you excited to turn 1?
Oh, he's not even reaching for the camera. He's reaching for the strap.
He reaches for the strap and then he pulls the camera to his mouth. Are you so excited about tomorrow? So Luke turns 1 tomorrow, and then the following day we're gonna have, I think, a celebration, but I'm not sure who's coming to that celebration, but I think we're having some people come. I'm not sure how we're gonna do it, but we're going to have a little party for Luke. Yes, you love a party. Luke loves a party. I love you, Luke. Have sweet dreams tonight, and tomorrow will be your birthday.